Well, good evening and welcome to Break One F1. This is our Tier 1 racers here today, and I'm not alone in commentary. As always, well, as is recently, I'm joined by Crash and Kapoza. Crash, Kapoza, good evening. How are you doing today?
Boy, yeah, day in Costa Maze. How are you doing, my brother?
Day and Kosi indeed. Welcome to our viewers here. This is Tier 1. Crash, what are your expectations from this? And then I'll come to you, Kapoza.
Good evening. Yeah, tough one. It's Spain.
Yeah.
Quick race. Definitely, they're gonna be tough. They're gonna be fast. Yeah, no, this is tricky. I was trying to analyze it sitting alone and just asking myself what's gonna go down. So I think it's gonna be a quick race, a clean race. You know, they're gonna try, but it's minimal margin for error here. Whoever makes the errors is out. I think you need to high focus, stay alert, and keep it on the turf all along. And with that said, I don't know, I can't even predict our winner today.
Yeah, it's
So,
difficult
yeah.
it's difficult to predict a winner from here. Kapoza, last time out we saw a podium of Zotail, Sihui, and Lungs, and Titus, of course, had an incident which saw him finish in 5th place. What is it that makes this particular track challenging in your view?
Okay, with Sector 2, there are actually two corners in particular, Sector 2 and the last sector. There are corners that go left and right, which are a bit tricky because they're uphill, so your car tends to lean a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how they navigate those corners exactly. And we have seen some of the tier one guys have some mistakes in the casual lobbies in those corners. So it'll be interesting to see if they can actually navigate all 33 laps without any mistakes. But in terms of my top 3, I still think our leading pack in terms of the standings for the tier 1, Sife, Zotail, and Titus. I think they'll be our podium finishes, barring any incidents, of course, but they're looking pretty strong and consistent so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a good race.
As are all of us. Yes, you just mentioned those top 3 runners. To remind you, viewers here of Breakaway F1 2021, our Tier 1 drivers. These are going to be the ones racing today, of course. The championship standings, the driver standings at the moment, it is Sihui leading on 130 points. And in P4 we have Lungs, and then Buddha, Josh, then Mello, then Pato, and then Nguako. And then the only driver who has yet to score points this season is Bongs in the Ferrari. He has yet to score any points. Of course, Inati was coming along very well last time around before having that incident. He would have earned a great deal of points. I will come to you, Crash. Your thoughts on the Constructors' Championship and how we're seeing kind of the teams working together and playing along there, Crash?
Yeah, it's actually we could sugarcoat and tiptoe around the truth, but the truth is there's only one team when it comes to the constructors, which is particularly Red Bull.
Red Bull.
The key word is team because it's made up of more than one.
Yeah.
The latters, you know, they've been carried on the shoulders. I mean, look at Bonks and Sife from Scuderia.
Yeah.
Got 130 points, and all 130 points have been tallied up by Sife, who's leading the championship. Titus and Tendai, they've got 138 points.
Yeah.
I think 122 of those points belong to Titus. So teamwork here is really pretty much Zotile and Lungs, and evidenced by that, they're leading by 50 points.
They're leading by 50 points. Teamwork is huge and it's so important. You mentioned it during the race last week. Good evening to everybody in the comment section. Lesbano, we see you. Bankobi, we see you as well. Everybody who's leaving a comment here, it is good to have you with us here. This is going to be a great race. The 9th in the Tier 1 Championship. I absolutely cannot wait. Last time out in China, Zotail took that race. Sihui was 2nd and Lungs came 3rd. And then it was Josh, Titus, Espaizozo in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Selby, Mello, and Fundo, and Loveness completed the rest of the grid there. We're about just under 20 seconds before we head straight to the paddock and see how these drivers will fare on this track. Kaboza, I would love to hear your thoughts when we go on the first onboard of one of the qualifying laps, just to hear some of the tricky corners or the tricky sectors that you were speaking about. We have 18 minutes here. Now, Kaboza, you've spoken about those two sectors. I would love to hear from you, and then also Crash, to hear how best do you set up your car on a track like this, which has quite, unforgiving corners.
It has to be a bit of a balanced setup because you're looking for the high speed cornering and also the down the main straights, because down the main straights is the main place for overtaking in this track. So you can't be a sitting duck by choosing a Monaco style or heavy downforce setup.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting how they do. Most importantly, the tires of which they're starting on. We know that the Red Bulls usually try to qualify on the medium, so it'll be interesting to see if those Highland Lungs still try with that strategy. But yeah,
yeah, that is very interesting.
As we go in.
Okay. As we go in, now let's make sure we're seeing all of the details that you would. Well, of course, love to. We'll see the full track map and all the info that would be most pertinent here, as of course the drivers are currently making sure that they have the best setup. Crash, I'd love to hear what you would prioritize in terms of the setup of the car here. We've heard Kaboza saying that you wouldn't want too much downforce so that you wouldn't necessarily be left behind those straights. Do you agree, or would you set things up slightly differently?
I agree. With me being a tier 2 driver, I'm actually more of a balanced driver. I'm just trying to get it correct, get it right, stay on the track, finish the race, and so forth. So I think, I'd go for a balanced one. Given the Spanish track. And most importantly, stay balanced with the corners. Those corners are critical. And you're going to pick up from tonight, you're going to see how difficult it is. A lot of people actually do invalidate when it comes to qualifiers coming to those corners. So, if drivers of the standard of tier 1 are battling, as we're seeing Romeo flying off the track, followed by, that's what I'm talking about. So it's quite difficult. So you want to stay on the track by all means and get the best out of it.
Absolutely, by all means. Tabang and Andile in the comments. Welcome to this race. We see all of you here. Thank you for joining us. Of course, this is Tier 1 of the Brakeaway Formula 1 Esports Championship. These are the creme de la creme. Our premier drivers, of course, they race every single Tuesday and Thursday. So on Thursday, they'll be back again. And, of course, on Mondays and Wednesdays, you can catch some of the Tier 2 drivers. They are my co-commentators, of course. Crash in co-coms, he drives for Mercedes. All right, Kaboza, take us through this attempted hot lap here by Nick starting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Kaboza.
Okay, first corner is taking it clean. Not so aggressive on the curb because you mustn't touch the apex on the left because that usually causes it to spin. Okay, so this is one of the slow corners on this track.
Yep.
Another slow corner. Oh, invalidated. Okay, so behind him we have. Okay, we're on board with Fundo right now, who has a purple first sector. He's on mediums.
Yes.
Actually. Okay, here's the corner I was talking about in sector 2. It's a bit tricky for most drivers. It's a left, and then you go up the hill, and then you take the right. Yes. He also, Fundo Neto also invalidated his lap, just as we're on board with him.
So
another Sife is on the fast lap.
Yes.
Okay, nice and clean. Okay, so he plants his car in the middle and then swerve left and then right. then another fast right, a bit off the throttle a bit, and then you flat out for the DRS zone. Then another hard brake point, yeah, and then this is the second part of those hard corners. This is the left and the right.
Yes.
So they usually catch you off because of the lift off oversteer. The car tends to turn more because of the lifting off. But let's see what time CJ posted. Seems like it was a clean lap from him.
Yes.
On the mediums.
On the medium tires, he puts in a 118.6. So that is just shy of the time that Romeo has put up, which is a 118.5. As we see the times start to trickle in here, as we just change our views here. Loans has set a 118.7, and DWAX is currently the only driver in the 119s. DWAX is the only driver in the 119 so far. He is on a soft lap. Looking now, Crash, looking at Seaflay, he's on the medium tires, and he's very close, of course, to the top there. About how he could start this race.
Zotal has just done a purple sector 1. He's pushing it. He's on the second sector. Let's go.
Let's see how Zotal does as DWAX gets out of the way. And Crash, are there some corners where you can afford to kind of kiss the curb a little bit, or do you have to play it extra careful here?
Play it extra careful. One touch, you're off the track. As you see, you must pay attention also to Melo's just done a 117. South spins.
As I was
Speaking of the curbs, exactly.
Yes.
Speaking of the curbs.
Yeah, that must have hurt Zotal's strategy because he was hoping to qualify on the mediums and start way up. So I just want to see if he's going to be trying for another lap, or he's going to go in and... Oh, it looks like he's starting for another lap.
He's giving it another go, straight up.
I think so. No, he's going in. He's going. He's pitting, yeah.
Pitting. Notice that Titus went out on the mediums as well. Must have had a blunder. He went.
So I think it's a fueling issue because they try to have the least amount of fuel they can have on board to complete a lap, because more fuel obviously means more weight and slower time. So they try to make sure that they finish half lap worth of fuel left just to get the car back into the pits.
Correct.
Yeah. Right in the comments here, Brian Kobe says curbs are rideable when the setup has a lower ride height. So it all depends on how the setup is kind of prioritized there. But Crash, you were saying earlier that you prefer a more balanced setup. Is that used for tracks like this, which have quite a variety of
tracks? I'm just familiarizing myself with the tracks. I'm getting to know them, so there is no particular instance whereby I can say I've got sound knowledge of a particular track as yet.
Yeah.
So the balance allows me that cushion of being to regather if I make a mistake. So I'd rather opt with that, because as you've noticed, it's no longer sprint races. It's not about how fast you are or whatever. It's about how clean you are and how consistent you are.
Okay, as Titus starts his first lap, can you just go on board with Titus?
Go to Bongs. Bongs has just done a purple first sector 2.
All right, Bongs is probably further along down his attempt, so we'll go on board with Bongs here. Bongs really needs to, hopefully get a good place on the grid and start earning some points for his team there, as he clocks a 118.4. So how's that for an effort from Bongs so far with just under 10 minutes to go, Crash?
Yeah, that's a beautiful lap. It puts him in a good position.
Yeah.
Riding along with Titus is coming through sector 2.
Okay, they are very clean in those challenging corners. Okay, Titus, word has it, he's actually switched to manual gears. So as you can see, some of the missed gear changes, but we'll see if that affects his pace or not. As you can see, some of the gear changes.
Oh, Mfundo. My God, Mfundo.
Well, we were online here with Titus.
Do that.
Fundo earns a 5-place grid penalty for a collision there. Talk us through that crash.
Even with that,
Titus was still fourth with the 118.3, even after a crash.
Wow. That is...
Wow. Wow, that is insane. Zotal is out. He's out on the softs. He's coming through sector 1.
Let's see how he comes along. Zotal there.
Remember, he's yet to post a time.
Is yet to post a time there. Titus is looking to go better on his results from last week. Of course, Titus finished 5th in China. And as you said there, Kaboza, word around the paddock is that he switched to manual gears, and he's hoping to take advantage of that.
Zotal invalidates.
8 minutes to go, and the more laps you do on those tires, of course, to an extent, you also want to keep your tires as fresh as possible for the race itself, right?
Inati just went second. Just went second with the 118 flat.
118 for Inati. That is an incredible possible front row start, as we have just under 8 minutes to go. Inati, of course, as I mentioned, Inati currently has 1 point in the championship, so he would do well to really claim a good haul of points here today. Currently 118.0, the time that he set there. So the top 3 currently is Mello 117.8, Inati, then Lungs 118.1, and Romeo currently on 118.184 at the moment. So Mello is the only driver to breach that 118 mark. He's on 117, of course, 117.6. So that's a great time set there by Mello.
Okay, as Lang starts his another attempt on the softs.
Bankobi says new pace will be unleashed for McLaren. Yes, he's got a lot of traffic. Let's go on board here with Lungs, of course, and Fundo trying to move out of the way. Inati's doing the most for the Haas, says Andile in the comments. Well, if you've just joined us, welcome. This is the qualifier for our Tier 1 drivers here.
Zotal, the purple sector 2.
Purple sector 2, so he would be further along. Let's go on board with Zotal and see how he fares. Of course, Zotal still needs to set a time. Spy Zozo graciously moves out of the way and crashes. He takes this tricky chicane.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a good time.
114, 115, 116, 117,
117.9. That is incredible. Let's see how his teammate fares, of course.
Smuda goes second, 117.7.
Now we're getting to the tail end of this qualifier. Now more and more drivers are breaching that mark into the 117s. The quickest is still Mello on 117.6 as
amazing
comes into the pit lane. That was an incredible.
Mello 117.3 improves the game.
He beats
Mello. Let's go! Competing against himself.
He's just beating himself there. Gama says S. Buddha is looking to make up for what happened in China. Currently P2 is S. Buddha, of course. The likes of Titus and Cichle have, as we see Mello just kind of go off there, but that was incredible on his part. Mello is on a mission, like says Maspano.
Cichle is going for another lap on the mediums.
Titus has changed onto the soft, but he's only on his out lap. We'll jump onto him now.
All right.
Okay, I'm just on board with Cichle now on the mediums.
Let's take a closer look at how it looks from Cichle's perspective.
Into the final sector.
Yeah, but it looked like he might have been going slightly slower than his fastest time there when I saw the delta a couple of seconds ago. As he comes into the final section here, he's going into the pits here.
I think they're gonna abandon the medium strats and all go on softs because Titus is now going out on softs and CK he has enough time to just change into the softs and go out for another lap.
Yeah.
Titus is taking to the second to last corner. He's about to start his flyer.
He's about to begin his fast lap, so let's go closer and see how that comes along from Titus's perspective as Gamma is cheering on Mfundo, currently in P2, but Titus will want to do a whole lot better than 9th as he crosses the start-finish line and begins a hot lap here. Crash, I'd love to hear your take on how Titus fares in this hot lap.
I don't think he's going for pole.
Is he taking it a bit slowly in your view? Is he kind of feeling his way into it?
He's a bit off Melo. Melo's quite quick. Melo is very quick. So I'm looking at the sectors. Through sector 1, he still doesn't have purple, which means it's not the fastest time.
I still see a couple of missed
purple sector, even with the gear shifts. Purple sector 2 from Titus.
Purple sector 2 from Titus.
86.
As he comes in onto these unforgiving curbs, of course, one wrong move.
111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116. Oof, 117.7 leaves him in 4th. Oh wow. What do we have? Melo 117.3 in 1st currently. Fundo 117.5 currently, which is 2nd place. Buddha in 3rd 117.6. Titus 117.7. Zotal 117.9. Those are the 117s.
Yeah. And the only driver on the grid yet to set a time is Selby. Currently in the pit, probably leaving it late once the traffic kind of died down a bit, perhaps. But, well, he's got his work cut up for him.
I think Titus is going for another lap. I'm not sure if he'll have the fuel for this.
He should. I think
but look at that contact between
2 laps.
Well, Zotal taking no prisoners on this hot lap attempt.
He's backed out.
So let's go along with Zotal on his fast lap. His purple middle sector.
Purple sector 2 with Zotal, definitely. Yeah.
He's clean. Nice from the power. Brake for the right-hander. Accelerate a bit. Brake for the left-hander. Right-hander, and then full throttle until the finish line.
Really pushing it here.
116,
how will Zotal do? 117.8.
6.
Zotal currently 6th on that grid as things stand.
What I want you to notice is how they move out of the way from each other.
Yes,
in such a way that and you can't even get a tow. That's how fast they get out of the racing line.
So if you're hoping to get some sort of a tow, they hardly give it to you there.
Nazi flipped onto the softs, riding through sector 2.
Let's
Melo with himself. It's Melo against Melo.
What a qualification it's been for Melo. He's pretty much been leading here as the drivers really that are out.
I think CK has lost it. He's been sliding around, hitting the curbs.
CK, our championship
Full
leader.
Throttle, around 14, 115, 116, 117, 18. Oof, not bad. Imagine now 117.8 is not bad because it ends you up in 7th as the.
So, ladies and gentlemen, interesting race ahead. Our title leaders, number
starts
1, 2,
in
3,
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Sixth, seventh, and eighth are our title leaders as we come to the end of this qualifying session. Mello the Mello currently P1 on a 117.2 as Inadi's just making his way into the pits here. This might be an in-lap from Lungs here. Tabang is inspired to get a PS4 soon. Well, Tabang, if you want to get into that racing of Formula 1 2021 or the versions to come, it would be a pleasure possibly to see you on one of these grids in the future. But we have Mello the Mello currently in provisional pole as you see Lungs kind of take it into the dirt there. Fundo second, Lungs P3, Inati, would you look at that, P4. What a result possibly that is for him if he makes good on that, Kaboza.
Oh yes, he's had such tough luck previously, because as you remember in China, he was running a good third or fourth, and then just clipped the wall in the entry of the pits and lost and DNF'd. So he has the pace. It's just that his luck hasn't been good. Even in Jeddah, if you remember, he was running right up there in the top fives. Yeah. But still had an accident, had a crash house and a DNF at the lesser stages of the race. So hoping that he can converse and give us their names on the board.
Absolutely. We have Man Ray here, who has seemingly spun out. Man Ray was hoping to improve on his time of 122.0, but sadly has kind of spun out there, leaving him P17th in this grid of 18 drivers as things stand. If you have just joined us, welcome. This is Breakaway F1. These are our Tier 1 drivers, the creme de la creme, our very best drivers that we have here. As you can see on your screens, Mello and Mfundo of Mercedes, and of course the Mfundo of AlphaTauri. They make up the front row here. We cannot wait for the race, which will begin shortly. Sadly, Man Ray has lost that car there, but the mechanics will be doing their best to make sure that the car is in tip-top shape for the start of the race. I cannot wait. Of course,
Red Bull top 10 again, both cars.
Top 10 again, both cars. Crash, you keep talking about teamwork, which has Red Bull on the top of the constructors' standings on 188 points, leading from McLaren and Ferrari and P2 and P3 on those standings. Looking at where both Red Bulls are, could they see themselves working together to improve on what we saw last week as well?
Yeah, they're gonna start together because Lungs has a 5 grid penalty, so he's gonna be dropping a few positions. So they're gonna be running a similar strategy. Yeah, and we don't know we don't know what teamwork is gonna be, because it's all about who the quicker driver is on the day. Yes. And that driver needs to be protected and ensure to get the best possible out of the team.
Absolutely. You're correct there. Both Lungs and Mfundo had 5-place grid penalties, if I'm not mistaken. So our front runners look a little different, but it was a good job from them to really make sure that they are up there. I believe that will push Inati even further up the grid then, yes?
Correct. And if they have a clean start, he might be in a good position.
Okay, I think we might have a change from the stewards in terms of how those penalties, grid penalties were gotten by those drivers.
Yeah.
With Man Ray joining late, I think we might have the same problem as Tier 2, as the loading is taking for such a long time to just...
Yeah. In the comments, I see a couple of you are looking for... Yes, Kobozo?
No, I'm saying the countdown has started. 20 seconds left for lights out. Let's see what happens.
All right, I cannot wait. Inati, what a qualifying session this was for them. Inati, if you'll remember, Inati currently has 1 point in the drivers' standings, and Haas is currently in 10th place, in last place in the Constructors' Championship. That is Inati and Debo there. So Well, if Inati holds their nerve, we will see what happens. 3, 4, 5 South Africans. This is the only time you look forward to. Lights going out, and we have started the race. Mello holds his own. Inati Esbuda close behind. Ooh, would you look at the start? Inati has currently crashed.
Pushes Buddha out. Oh my god.
Pushing this Buddha out of the way. What a start from Inati. Mello is currently second. Buddha third. Seasley is fourth. Zotal has gained a place there. Mello is currently shell-shocked.
Titus has an issue. Titus has an issue.
Titus.
He's down to 16th.
Oh, we see a crash there between Titus, and it looked like it was a William. He's all the way at the back there, but let us go all the way to the top here and see how all of these drivers fare here on this track crash. What a start we have seen here.
Amazing start by Inati. Great start by Sbuda. Unfortunate was squeezed out there, but he regathered it quite good. Definitely never lost the wing. So yeah, we have a race. TK is in fourth. Zotal is 2 tenths behind TK in fifth. Loveness is within DRS himself in 6th, and Fundo 7th, Looms 8th, 86.
That is our top 10 as things stand. Of course, Mello was hoping, well, to have the lead at the end of the first lap. He's currently P2, just half a second behind as Inati sets a 1:23.8, the fastest time, of course, because he's leading that first lap of this race here. What a start that has been in the start of the second lap. It looks like we have a bit of a glitch here. It says Titus is currently P1.
Fundo is going down. Fundo had a spin. It's down to 16th now from, it was 6th, I think.
Yes, and Fundo has dropped 9 places there. Of course, after that 5-second grid penalty for that issue in qualifying, Inati is holding their own against Mello. The Mello, whew, of course, it's a long way to go.
Inati, Inati!
Would you look at that?
His wing.
His wing is gone.
It's that corner I was talking about.
It is.
I think it
hit the curb.
Apex.
He hit the curb, yes. He hit the curb.
He hit the curb, and Mello says thank you very much, reclaims the lead that he was hoping to have, of course, from that pole position. As Buddha is currently second, Seaslade third. What a start to the race. Tapiso says Inati Unibadi, which is South African, meaning, well, Inati just cannot get some good luck here as Mello sets a fastest time. Lungs claims that back. That is incredible. That is just, your heart goes out to Inati. What a start. Of course, he has to replace that wing, currently 15th, all the way back from the front of the grid, Kaposa.
Oh, yes. Now I'm thinking about strategies. I want to see what tires are taking, Inati is taking in the pits. Or is taking the mediums.
Yes.
So which means it still has to stop again, because this track is usually a 2-stopper anyway. So I don't think taking hards as long as you can and then switching to softs at the end would benefit you anyways, because you'll be losing time in that hard games, because hards are very tricky in some circuits, especially this one with this left and right corners. I mean.
Yeah.
So
just to jump in. This is such a great position for Mello. Mello is the quickest on the track, and the gap between him and Sbuda is extending.
Yes.
While Sbuda is also back holding the trainer. So DRS is enabled, and Sbuda is out of Mello's DRS. So the DRS train will affect all the people behind him.
So as Buddha will be hoping, number one, to get into the DRS zone, or rather within a second of Mello, which he has done. And Mello will hope that as Buddha holds everybody else, of course, as far back as possible here. In terms of stops and strategy, Kaposa, you said you were giving it some thought. How on earth do you play it from here, whether you're a leader or in the midfield? Like, what is the possible thinking in terms of taking advantage here?
Taking your tires as long as you can.
Yeah.
Because the thing with stopping so early in the race is that the field is so bunched up together. So when you come out in traffic. So going longer, it means that the field would have stretched enough for you to find a gap to insert
And
yourself.
clear A, and clear A,
clear A,
definitely.
yes.
Yeah. What a race we have here.
I think 86.
Yeah.
I think 86er is the only person who started on mediums. So I think if he
And Romeo.
or Romeo also started.
If we look at our biggest movers since the start, the 86ers gained 4 positions. Espy Zozo 5 positions. D-Wax, what a start for them. 6 positions gained here. So, and as you said, if we look at
Zotal goes through on CK.
Goes through on CK there. And this, of course, is a battle right at the top of the Drivers' Championships. So a great start here for Zotal to be creeping their way up the grid here.
He's definitely, and he's already 6/10 on Smuda. So he's pushing, he's having quite a good race. He has a purple first sector.
Well, Cifle will want to fight back as soon as possible. Currently almost a second behind Zotal after that move took place. And would you look at that? Zotal is inching closer and closer to Esbuda there. So Esbuda is not exactly sitting comfortably from Zotal's perspective.
Inati the DNF, how unfortunate.
We have lost Inati.
Unfortunate.
Safety car, full caution.
The safety car is out.
I just want to see if Melo dives in for a change of tires. So early, yes, he dives in.
Oh, he does. And Spuda follows. What about Zotal?
They all going in.
Yes, they're all going in.
Our top 5 is currently all in the pit.
will go through. Because he was on mediums. Yes, he was on mediums, so he doesn't see he won't have the same benefits for going into the pit right now.
Unfortunate for Lungs, he had to wait for Zotal there whilst he changed his tires.
It was a double stack there. And the 86er, well, would you look at that? Those medium tires are just 5 laps old. On a track like this, Kaboza, how far would you be looking to take those medium tires that 86er is currently on?
The thing is, he qualified on them, so he'd have lesser life in terms of laps.
Yeah.
But I think he can change them around lap 16, 17.
Correct. I was thinking the same.
16, 17, he can change them, and yeah.
And
but for him, what's fortunate is a safety car, so it means that he can preserve his tires for like 2 laps. So that means he can go for longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Crash, I'd love to hear, if you're in the 86ers position, you were on mediums at the start of the race. Everybody, has taken advantage of the safety car and gone into the pit lane. What does that do in terms of your thinking? Is it still a 2-stop race, or does he risk it and go for a 1-stop onto hard tire? What would you do in the 86ers position as far as tire strategy from here is concerned?
86. No, he can push. He can push. I think he can push it as a 2-stop. I don't know. It's actually quite difficult when you think about it, because now you think about the people that are behind you, and they are going to determine how long you can go.
Yeah.
Because if they are if they are way quicker than you, then they're going to build up a big gap, and you're going to be forced to pit early. So it extends. Whereas if you can stay within the pack and push as long as you can, then you can still go for the 2-stopper, because they all still going to stop again as well.
Exactly.
Also, the safety car plays an integral part when it comes to this.
Exactly.
Because if we get another safety car, it's advantage 86er again, because he can jump in with the free pits and so forth. So it's a mismatch. It's a mismatch. It's touch and go. It's all about going with your hunch right now.
I think Titus is going for one more stop after this. I think he's going to stretch the hard for as long as he can, and then end on the softs, because he's on hards. He's only driver with hards right now.
So,
I was looking.
which means he's fighting for track position now.
Yeah, I was looking at the fuel situation. I think 86er has actually gained some fuel under the safety car because he was in the red when the safety car came out. So I think this is also helping us because some drivers actually prefer to underfuel their cars with the anticipation to a safety car, but which is a huge gamble because if there are no safety cars, it means that you're going to be implementing a lot of fuel saving and lifting off in the corners and in the straights and losing time to the cars behind you. So this is also benefiting people that are under fuelers because as it was announced this season, low fuel fuel management is actually on hard settings now. So once you run out of fuel, you run out of power, and yeah, curtain for you.
Running out of fuel is not an ideal scenario in Formula One.
Maravel, cabanga sophelela ipetrol la ispe. Usithola phi isigubhu sephetrol? Uthola phi 5 awekho ama 5 liter wepetrol lana.
I agree with Bristox there. There are no 5-liter Esgubus of
safety car in this lap.
Safety car is in this lap. Seakley currently in 8th position. His teammate Bongs has a 3-second time penalty in 5th position. They'll be hoping for a race that goes well towards the end here. But we would love to see how the front runners fare as soon as that safety car goes in. Now the 86er is pushing it. Kaboza, take us through this restart.
Spizozo is close behind. It didn't catch him napping, but I think it's gonna take the first corner in first. So it got the restarts.
Bombs has gone through on Smuda. Oh yeah. No, that was close. That was close. Great defense. Great defense by Smuda.
As we see Buddha and Bongs, of course, that looks like it is the tightest battle here among the leaders. As he kind of makes sure he holds it off there. Mello currently P3, so he'll be hoping to keep abreast of those front runners over there. Zotile in P6. Of course, Bongs is making sure that Zotile is not inching any closer, any further than that. As we see Mello creeping in closer and closer to Spizozo there. How will he take it in this corner? Oh, Spizozo holds their position.
So for now, Mello is still in pole position. If you think about the fact that
hasn't pitted.
Yeah. So it just has to stick close and not try any heroics. Just stick behind them. If opportunity arises down the straight, you should take it, obviously. But yeah, just stick close to them,
and he'll be fine. Spizozo is looking to really Zotile, yes, and he gets that move on Bongs. He gets that move on Bongs
on the outside.
What a move that was from Zotile.
Melo goes through on Spizo. He's up to second.
He's done the inside.
And of course, Melo has the fresher tires out of all of those front runners.
Case Muda is also interested in Spizo.
He definitely is.
Tires.
When he gets that move.
Oh, what a clean move.
Oh, Spizo fights back.
He does.
Oh.
With the McLaren with the 3-second time penalty for track limits.
That is Tindo. Currently out second.
DRS will be coming on soon, so this will help.
It's going to be a hard trade.
Yeah.
As Buddha is really looking to bite back and get that position from Spizozo's. Buddha on the fresher tires. Spizozo's tires are 8 laps old, as are the 86ers. As, of course, we watch this battle play out.
Melo goes through.
Alongside him.
Melo goes through.
Would you look at that? Let's see if we can get on board with Mello.
86.
Zotile is putting Zotile into the fight.
Oh my god.
We have lost Spoo.
Oh my god.
Oh, what a possible result that would have been for Spoo. We have lost them from this race. Oh man, that was just terrible luck for Sbuda.
Another.
And of course, early
Okay,
on
so
we
that.
lost. Yes, go Koboza.
Oh, it's a full safety car. I was just saying that it was only sector one yellow, double yellow flags, but now it's a full safety car.
As I'd said, it plays back into 86's hands. He's got a free pit.
He's got a free pit stop, but I
Okay,
wonder.
no, the thing is, the field is bunched up too close for him to pit. Because if he does pit, he'll still end up,
In the
he'll be
midfield.
last. No, he'll be
Yeah.
last. He'll be actually last.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to stay out and try and build that gap when racing resumes. Because if he pits
Yeah.
now, unless everyone else pits, but Melo won't pit. There's 3 lap all tires. Is not gonna pit.
Yeah.
Okay. Spice also jumps in. Oh, the pits. Spice also and 86 are in the pits.
Correct.
Yeah, they had to.
Bongs must come in. Oh, he's not. He went through again.
He went through again.
So Bongs is gambling here. That Bongs will be hoping to stay among the front runners for as long as possible, but the rest of the leading pack has much fresher tires, of course, as Melo is now back where he started at the beginning of this race, which is the lead. Right now, of course, he's following the safety car. Hopefully it won't be out on the track for too long and we can get racing again. Look at Zotile. What a start to the race he's had. Currently finds himself P2. Kaboza, what a race it's been for him.
It's been a lovely race for him. When you consider the fact that some of the people that he started with, okay, let me see. He was with Zotile. It was Zotile, Sihle, and Titus. His competition is actually behind him, which is very good for him.
Yeah.
And with Titus, it's going to be interesting to see if he can fight his way up the field.
Yep.
So Zotile is in the box seats for a great number of points. I think he can actually take the championship if he holds his position. That all depends on how Sihle does in terms of the standings at the end. But for now,
even if Sihle finishes behind Zotile today, regardless of whatever, Zotile is going to be leading.
Oh yes. Okay, so but Sihle is in third because Bongs will have to stop again.
Correct.
Yes, and of course Bongs had that time penalty, so that would play a factor.
Loveness pits again.
The 86er has gone for a choice of soft tires here. What do you make of that? Is he just trying to make up as many positions as possible as soon as possible, and then maybe hope for another safety car? Because, of course, these soft tires, you don't see them lasting too long.
No, I think, it's opposite. Tell me what you think. I think that was actually a brilliant idea because they all still going to pit again. So they've gone about 5 laps. So he's going to make up a lot of positions, but he's not going to go for 15 laps. He's going to go for about 10 laps. So if you do the math and they are stretching long, by the time they're on 15 laps, he's going to be on 10 laps. So depending on whatever his positioning is, he's going to be in a great position because they're going to pit together.
Together at the same time. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
All right, that is actually quite interesting. Loveness has gone for soft tires as well. Loveness is, of course, currently in P15, so we will see as this race continues whether or not that was a great strategy on the part of the 86er and whether or not you can capitalize as we get to the next, the next set of most of the cars pitting here. So, Kushubile, as they say in South African. Melo, the
safety car in this lap?
Yes, the safety car is in. Melo is leading as things stand. Melo's teammates currently in P9. That would be Nicholas here. Of course, following M. Fundo closely in the Alpha Tauri. Lungs, who is Zotile's teammates, currently P6. The McLarens, that being Tindo and Titus, are P5 and 15th currently. Of course, Titus had that major incident earlier on.
Titus is P9th now. Titus is P9th.
Titus.
They are pitting. People are pitting. Spicer put on the hards. D-Walks put on the mediums. 86 on the softs. Loveness just went onto the softs. Loveness is sharing pretty much same strategy as the 86er. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a sprint for a couple of laps, and I see
As
them
Melo
making
goes,
We've got a rather time penalties.
Oh my God!
who was that?
Well, we are currently on board with Mello. There seems to have been an incident. Selby
it was
trickling.
Selby, yes.
Selby is falling down the grid. Currently 11th there. Zotile looking to keep, or rather Mello looking to keep Zotile off his back. But Bongs.
Loveness DNFs.
We've lost Loveness currently.
It could be that Loveness crashed into
Selby. It could be that, yes.
Oh, what a series of incidents we've had. Yes,
no, D-Walks with a 5-second time penalty for ignoring the yellow flag.
Ignoring the yellow flag as Zotile is looking to get a bite into the lead here. Mello will be looking to keep things steady. Earlier on, we saw Bongs trying to get a bite into Zotile here, but of course Bongs and Sifle, well, they might communicate to each other to possibly swap places for the sake of the championship. We do not know, but Zotile is looking to claw back here and snatch this lead from Mello. Currently less than half a second, the gap between them, as we go a little closer and take a view here from Zotile's perspective. Mello taking no chances as far as the curves are concerned. Of course, with this turn, you usually do run a little bit wide, but I wonder how aggressive Zotile will be throughout the rest of this lap here. But an even closer battle is between the Ferraris, as Sifle is looking to gain that position on their teammate.
I think right now Zotile's main concern is just pulling away as they are with Mello.
With Mello, yes.
They already have a 5-second gap between them and the Ferrari. So I think for him is just go along with Mello. When the opportunity comes down the straight, take it. And then try to drive off to the sunset.
So there's no need for unnecessary risks here.
Absolutely no need.
It is absolutely intense here. In Spain, we have lost 3 drivers, Loveness, S. Buda, and Inati. Of course, Loveness was the latest driver that we have lost. There was a major incident involving Selby, of course, who currently is...
DRS.
Would you look at that? As we go on board with Zotile here, just 2/10 between Zotile and Mello.
I just want to see if he's gonna take him in the second sector DRS or he's gonna wait for the main straight, because it still has under the 1 second for DRS. So I just want to see if he tries anything in the second sector and the second sector DRS zone. Okay, as they go up the hill.
I don't think he's gonna over push it because they've got a good cushion behind him. So rather be safer and
And the cushion is growing, Crash. Currently 6 seconds. It's looking like they're gaining a second a lap.
Bongs' tires are 14 laps old. All he's doing is holding CK back.
Yes. I think they should have had a gentleman's agreement just to let him pass.
Yeah.
But I think for him the issue is if he lets him pass, Tindo might come into play. So I think maybe they're looking for a good spot to actually do the switch in between them.
Yeah.
Okay, Zotile with the DRS.
Zotile with the DRS.
It goes on the outside.
Side by side.
Oh,
Mello says, not on my watch, as he goes into that series of curves. Oh, that was pretty close.
They pulled a second on Bongs.
Yes. Another thing there's this sort of gentleman's agreement for number 1s and 2 or any people who are leading the race. If you see that with you not fighting too much, you are pulling the gap with the car behind you. It's just safe. It's just better to just go along with that. Don't fight. Pull pull the gap between you guys and the guys
And the
behind
rest
you.
of the
then-
pack, yes. Because the objective is to get over the line.
Yes.
Yeah, to hopefully make it there unscathed and leave your car without a scratch there. Well, Fakagasi FC says Zotal is hot on Mello's tail. Fetch him, boys! Well, I hope Tamayo is watching this battle, says Bankobi. Bankobi mentioning, of course, the fierce rivalry.
Ooh,
of these
Melo
fierce-
loses.
Ooh.
Melo almost loses.
Ooh,
us
look
in
at
the
that. And
final
Zotal takes
corner.
advantage. And Zotal has taken it. Zotal says, thank you very much. Thanks to that mistake, I will gladly take the lead of this race here. So
But
Zotal...
what a save from Melo. He could have easily gone into the wall there.
Yeah, we've already lost 3 drivers, of course,
definitely.
in this race, but Melo saves it there and, well, lives to fight another day. There's still plenty of laps to go. This is lap 17 of 33, so a lot can happen between now and the end of the race here. But we cannot wait to see, of course, how all of that pans out. The Ferraris have been battling and losing time. The gap is currently 7.5 seconds between the Ferraris and the leading pair. Sifle will look to get past their teammate as quickly as possible. As Kid K says, Zotal is a beast. And Masabano says, this glitch loves him. Well, Zotal is, of course, driving in a beastly manner, looking to dominate the rest of this race, but it's a long way to go here. Sifle is currently about 6/10.
Nick DNFs.
Oh.
Nick DNFs.
Mello's teammate is out of this race. The 4th driver we have lost today, Nicholas, was doing, well, he was in the points, so that is just absolutely terrible news for Nick there.
Safety car.
And another safety car.
Safety car.
I'm just checking who is jumping in. Bongs
Tindo's in.
jumped
Bongs is in.
Yeah.
I think Romeo's gonna go in.
Right, let us see what tires
Romeo's
they
in.
opt for. Looks like Tindo's going for the hard tires here, as the Bongs is serving a 5-second penalty, remember? So that was the reason for the delay. They fit the hard tires, as does Tindo, as we have seen here. The safety car is, of course, out. 11 laps old are the tires of the pretty much the top 6.
I don't know if people are paying attention. Titus is up to 6th. And
Yes, on those cards.
we've got 15 laps to go.
15
I'm
laps.
just thinking, will he try to... Okay, so...
He won't go
who
to
was
the
that?
end.
He won't go to the end.
He won't go to the end. Because that means after he has to do another 15 laps on those, so he'll be on 26. He could, but I don't think he would, because he won't have any pace at the end.
Yeah, true.
He's got
Yeah,
up
I'm
to
just-
5th.
With all of these incidents taking place, Andile Twitch says the spirit of Tier 2 is strong in this race. Of course, Tier 2 races are no strangers to seeing incidents, time penalties, safety cars, but of course, the races do get better and better the deeper into the season we go. These are our Tier 1 drivers, and as it stands, Zotal chose to stay out. Ooh, well, Zotal has come in and pitted for, looks like soft tires, as has Mello. Mello has taken a set of medium tires, as we see, of course, the lead
Lungs
changing
takes
hands.
softs.
Lungs has taken soft tires.
See if it goes through for truck position.
He goes
Yeah, that's
through.
what- Even Titus went through it and Fundo went through there. So from those people, Sihle and Fundo would have to stop,
Guaranteed.
earlier than Titus. So
Yeah. They guaranteed another stop.
We are soon to make our way into lap 20 of 33. So Titus is well, his hard tires are 12 laps old. Could Titus just choose, stay out and hopefully ride it out to the end of the race here? So 13 more laps, doable, surely.
Surely doable.
Ooh,
But then again,
but the pace difference at the end.
Yeah.
it's gonna be enormous.
People behind him will be on fresher tires, so yeah.
But let's also consider that we are speaking about Titus. He's proven it before.
Yeah, we apologize. The game seems to be glitching a little bit. It keeps on bumping Titus up to P1 and then other places on the grid. As I currently see it on my view here, it has Titus in P11. Is that how you see it?
P3.
P3 and yours.
P2
Yes.
is Mfundo. P3 is Titus. P4 is Zotal. P5 is Melo. P6 is Bongs. P7 is Lungs. P8 is Diwax. P9 is Romeo. 10th is Spaizozo, which is the top 10. Tindo's in 11th. 86 and 12th. Salvi 13th. Man Ray currently 15th, but will be 14th when he passes Nick, because Nick has DNF.
Yeah, Nick, of course, has not finished this race. Kaboza, our leader, Sifle on the medium tires, 13 laps old. The cars are bunched up here, so he has to contend with, of course, Mfundo, same age tires, but Zotal, Mello, and even Bongs and Lungs are on fresher tires. How long can Sifle hold out here, Kaboza?
I think it was a bad call.
Yeah, you think he should have pitted?
Yeah, both
Yeah,
I think it was a bad call.
Yeah, they should have pitted. Looking at the tire difference they're gonna be experiencing, especially on the pace that Melo and
Zotal are going to be coming through on, yes.
Yeah.
And Titus is going to be putting enormous pressure on them because his hards are fairly hard, you know?
Yeah. All right. Right, we apologize for the glitches now. It's not just the viewers, but it's literally coming through from the game itself, because from my broadcast here, I'm the one broadcasting, but it seems that Titus is the one player that keeps on glitching, but all the other players are pretty much in their correct position. So yeah, safety apologies for that. The safety car is coming in this lap. Sifle slowing down and backing everybody up, and Fundo is on his tail there, as is Zotal, giving himself some breathing room before Sifle decides to hit the throttle there.
The thing is, it's hard being the following car because you don't know when the first car is going to leave. So it's even hard to warm your tires.
Yes. Sifle has pulled off. Was hoping to take advantage of everybody slowing down in those curves. He tries to pull a bit of a gap. Already it is 8/10. Sifle
is dumping that ERS.
Oh, he's totally pushing it. Already, Sifle looks to build more than a second gap between them and Mfundo. Zotal is trying to creep up on Mfundo.
Yeah.
Sifle playing a game of managing those older tires as best he can. 14 laps old compared to just 1 or 2 lap old tires of the people chasing this leading pair. A bit of a gap between Zotal and Mfundo here, even though Zotal's on the fresher tires, Crash.
Sorry, I'm just speaking to the stewards. I'll get that quickly now, Titus.
It's because it's harder to warm up to get the hards into temperature. As you can see that Zotal is already on Titus's gearbox, so
yeah,
it might actually take him in this. Okay, there's a yellow. Ooh, one of the Ferraris is spun. I think it was Bongs with the yellow, but he managed not to DNF. So I'm not sure if he's lost a wing. We'll see if he pits. Okay, so Zotal is trying to take Titus. He goes to the inside. Oh yes, he takes him.
Bongs
has
retired from this session, unfortunately.
How unfortunate. Yo.
Oh man, that is just
Another safety car. Tier 2 Spirits. I think Sifia will have to stop now.
He's forced to. Fundo's forced to come in.
Stop. And Titus also has to stop. Zotal made that pass on Titus before the safety car came out. So we were talking about Bongs down at Ferrari getting the Vettel treatment. So his luck continues down there at the Scuderia. So
Bongs, that is
tough.
just terrible luck for Bongs there.
I think I'm seeing rain.
Are you seeing a few spots of rain here? That would make things.
I'm seeing a few spots of rain.
I'm spotting rain myself.
That would make.
I'm spotting rain myself.
By the end of this lap, we will have just 10 to go until we finish the Spanish Grand
for another
Prix.
lap just to monitor what's going on.
Perhaps.
They're gonna follow yes.
Well,
I knew they would.
Sifley still needs.
Yeah, someone is in the pits.
Zotal into the pits.
Well, Zotal.
I think Zotal is going for the inters. Yes, he's going for inters. I think his bet is that by the time that the safety car goes away, it will be ready for time for inters. So might as well take it.
Threat gambler.
That is a gamble of note. Talk about throwing the dice. He's one of the first drivers, along with Tindo, to go for the intermediate tires there.
Selby took another set of mediums.
Also not a bad call.
Smart man says Faka Ugesi FC, presumably perhaps talking about Zotal.
Definitely.
I
don't know. Yo.
Yeah, that might turn out to be a genius move, as of course you might remember a long time ago in the Tier 2 race, as all the drivers were crashing out.
It's wet. No, it's wet. So it was a great call. It was a great call for track position. They all coming in.
And then so Zotal and Tindo now will be
first and second, correct?
Yeah,
correct. They
now
if come in for inters.
If the safety car goes in, this will be a disaster for these guys.
It will. Actually, it will, huh?
As the penalties keep racking up, the 86er just got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag.
Look at
all that carnage! That is 3 cars just hitting the entrance to the pit lane! It is absolute carnage! It is absolute carnage! Mellow the Mellow.
Oh my goodness.
It is absolute carnage here. We have lost our race leader for Mellow the Mellow and Seaflay. Oh, they lost grip. This has turned out to be a genius move on the part of Zotal, who pitted early as soon as we saw those. Yes, Crash.
So the standings right now is just to keep our viewers updated. Right now it's Zotal, Tindo, Mfundo, Titus, all are on inters, new inters. In fifth, it's 86 who's on mediums, who hasn't made a stop. Then the rest is Selby, Lang, the tracks, and finish the race.
Yeah, and
so another masterclass in terms of strategy by Zotal here.
Dude, I don't know what to say.
I have the VOD of the multiple DNFs. I think I'm gonna have to save it and send it to the group because that was just shocking in the pit entry. I think Sithia was rushing to get into the pits to make sure that he doesn't lose too many positions, and then he just flowed it a bit. Now it's a wet track on a dry compound tire, so then the car just went, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, we do apologize for the technical glitch currently. We are looking to sort that out as soon as possible. Apologies for the technical glitch here. We're currently
the
having
safety car is not going in.
a connectivity issue
No, it's not
here.
going in.
We're looking to sort that out as soon as humanly possible. We know that you can hear the audio, but we know that the picture is gone for our viewers, so we do apologize for that. As I'm just looking to sort this out as soon as humanly possible. Crash. Yeah, I'm just sorting it out on my end.
No.
Is it? Did they lose the stream?
We can hear
No, I'm just
audio, but
checking, right?
it's just the connection quality. It
But
says
there's
here.
no video.
Yeah, there's no video.
There's
There's.
no screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to.
All right, just.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go live on my end.
All right, cool. You could just let me know. So we're just
Tier one
switching.
Spain.
We're just migrating host here, and then as soon as you're in, will you be able to? Yeah, you're already in the lobby, so you'll be able to see everything that we're seeing. So we do apologize for that. We'll give you an update here as far as the standings are at the moment. Zotile currently leads, followed by Tindo, and then M.
Tier one Spain. I'm live.
All right, and then let me spark
Tier one Spain. I'm live.